What is up, my fellow skeletons? UnKellAble here, and welcome to Any Port in a Storm, a pixelated 2D-esque horror game where you find your partner dead in a lighthouse and must control your emotions in order to survive. So without further ado, let's get into it. His body almost seemed alive against the rocking sea. The crashing of the waves mimicked and taunted a phantom heartbeat. I didn't know what to feel when I found him. But there was guilt in that I should have felt more than I did. He loved to spend his time on the water away from the lighthouse. At first I feared his avoidance of the house was a revisit of my own. Later though, I found his disconnection to be on his own accord. I grew fond of him in the days following my employment, and I'd like to think he felt the same. The lack of ease, I dragged his body to our sitting spot. I couldn't tell you to what end, but at the time, keeping the image of him alive was all that mattered. There was a softness in his presence, something I wished to preserve. I searched the lighthouse for anything I could give him, clothes, accessories, or general interests. Okay, dead guy. Alright, moving on. Okay, question marks. All question marks. Once I collected all I could find, I shifted through the pile for something suitable. A mug. Was this his or mine? I couldn't be certain. Occasionally in the deep of a storm far from the eye, it was shared once. Knowingly or not, I couldn't decipher. I think he wondered the same. A human skull. You don't want to cover that face too much, or make him look way more dead than he already is. His journal. The one I was never meant to read, and the one I did. He wrote mostly of me and our time working at the lighthouse. His words were harsh, but he wrote them kindly, with care. A floral dress. I shouldn't even be thinking about it. Maybe? No, I mustn't. Why would he even own such a thing? Translucent pink heart glasses. He left these in his bedside table. I laughed the first night they were shown, but the most part I wondered in silence. It wasn't until reading his journal that I found out that they meant. What he'd lost. Who he'd lost. I felt bad for laughing. His glasses. These should make him feel more lively. He must have left them behind when he went to the docks. I dressed him up and made him feel lively, but he still didn't feel alright. His mug was empty. I certainly wasn't going to serve him tap water, dirt-filled and still. He deserved better. The walk to the shed was long and cold. The shed was empty. Seeming on cue, my stomach began to crawl as I saw ravaged shelves. I had no idea when the next delivery was meant to arrive, when the ship's foghorn would blow. A storm meant fishing was out of the question. The seagulls would be far too charred, burnt by flare. My hunger rose, and in a panic, I looked inward. Press W key to subdue hunger. What happens if I let my hunger go? Oh, I'm eating myself. I was insatiable, scared, and yet there was an alarming lack of regret. I did what was needed in the moment, and I did it well. At least that's how I justified it, and to further extent, how I justified what was to come. I was so hungry. There are certain feelings that can shape someone's mind in a variety of ways. There was hunger, and then there was love. If I sat with this husk, what would come of it? That was the hunger thinking, but I couldn't tell. Why sit till the meat becomes spoiled? That's all he was to that physical response. I made many attempts at his skin throughout the night, but I've been unable to follow through. That was the love thinking. The feeling was bubbling and unbearable, and at once I could feel the hunger rising too. Press the space key when the box aligns with the notch. The feelings were so similar, differentiating them from each other felt impossible. It wasn't rage as much as it was the failure of not being strong enough to survive. It became harder to decipher which voice was mine, which voice was love. As my thoughts rose to an overwhelming numbness, I broke skin. It was satisfying in a way. I knew if I drew this knife, I'd fail. Oh. That I could starve alone if I didn't try. I knew I couldn't win this battle. But I'd pick a side. Was it wrong to love anyone? Had I always just been using him? I don't remember much, but I remember he tasted sweet. His bitter blood complemented by his skin, a creamy texture supplied by the liver, and a satisfying struggle with the marrow, not too dissimilar to how we fought meat out of the crabs. The sweetest part, I did it myself. Regardless of when the next shipment was arriving, regardless of when the next boat would come to shore, I was supplied. So I indulged, and indulged, and indulged. And then he breathed. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Any port and a storm. Now, is it love? Is it death? Is it just plain simple human hunger? That one I'm not sure. This was good. It was short, sweet, and simple, and it gave a little bit of a difference on surviving. Someone died, there's no food, what are we gonna do? We're gonna eat them, but this one kind of felt a little weird. Like, there wasn't really much context. It was, hey, your friend died. We don't know how our friend died. He just died. Who knows? Maybe we killed him. I mean, judging by the situation that we were willing to eat him, it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of made me think that we killed him out of love. Maybe we had like a feelings towards him that he would never think back. Who knows? This was really good. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in another Let's Play. Adios, and goodbye.